This is a special presentation of Manny Pacquiao's Blow by Blow. Any other use of materials, photos, and accounts without MP Promotions' consent is strictly prohibited. Previously on Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow.
Ignacio versus Manago, and doing a lot of dancing before and even after the fight. And that was a nice, clean knockdown scored by Ignacio in the very first round. And then, second round, he continued to attack right and then scoring with the left. And eto naman po, si Ignacio scoring and probably sealing it in the fourth round with that big right hand. KO victory to raise his record to 2-1. That's it, the first knockout of his career. And then a big right hand coming from Albino. Be like a toy bulldog. Maliit siya, like Domi Ursua. And he tried to push the fight towards Albino. And then Albino finding the opportunity to score a knockout, getting his hand raised by referee. Round number 1 and round number 2 now coming up. Some highlights of the fight just ended. Wala siyang ginamit na left hand. But yun, tumatama yung kanyang right hand. Then the big knockdown that he scored in round number 4. The counter right hand. And Ferruelo, his head bouncing off the canvas. He got up and then he went down on a knee. And then a furious attack, a furious assault there by Solis to try to end the fight. He punched himself out. He ran out of gas towards the end.
Mga kaboksing, nagbabalik na muli ang pangbansang boxing ng bansa, ang Blow by Blow. Hatid sa inyo ng iyong lingkod. Suportahan at samahan niyo po akong tumuklas ng mga bagong henerasyon na hangaan at magbigay ng karangalan sa ating bansa. Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Humanda ang may puso sa larangan. Humanda ang may lakas ng kalooban. Humanda sa pagdalaw ng Blow by Blow sa inyong mga syudad at probinsya. Lahat ng aksyon, drama at tagumpay mapapanood po dito sa One Sports tuwing linggo alas 8:30 ng gabi. Blow by Blow, laban ng Pilipino.
This is our Sunday Beer main event of the
Mabuhay Pilipinas! And welcome to another edition ng inyong paboritong boxing show. Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow in partnership with San Miguel Beer. Patuloy po ang bakbakan dito sa Barangay Mauway, Mandaluyong City. The Executive Sports Complex, mga kaibigan po natin, all gathered here, assembled to watch the fireworks sa Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow in partnership with San Miguel Beer. Okay, ang susunod na laban po natin will be a 4-rounder in the 145-pound division. Si Sherwin Lombres. Ang kalaban po niya, Michael Agustin. And yes, we are scheduled for 4. Check out the tail of the tape. In this one, you notice that the official weights, 140.8, 142. Ang weight limit po natin, 145. So these guys are fighting in the light welterweight division, bridging the welterweight division. But these guys are big boys. As you take a look at the reach advantage, very minimal. Height advantage, very minimal. And both fighters are right-handers. Taga Parañaque po, si Lombres. At taga Surigao del Sur naman, si Michael Agustin. We are scheduled for 4 in the light welterweight division. And now let's hear it from our ring announcer, Bobby Mondejar, for the intros.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter coming out of the dugout, Michael Agustin. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter coming out of the dugout, Sherwin Lombres. Ladies and gentlemen, Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow here at Barangay Mauay Executive Sports Complex, Mandaluyong City, in partnership with San Miguel Beer, in coordination with Barangay Chairman Bernie Evangelista and Mayor Benjamin Abalos. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fighter fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 142 pounds. He has a record of 1 draw, no loss. Fighting out of Alchemist Boxing Stable, Kalumpit, Bulacan. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Agustin. Agustin. Right across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 140.8 pounds. He has a record of 1 win, no loss. 1 win coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Baruch Boxing Gym, Taguig City. Ladies and gentlemen, Sherwin Lombres. Lombres. Judges at ringside, Don Arguelles, Edgardo Nobleza, Silvestre Abaiza. And third man in the ring, referee Elmo Coloma. This will be 4 rounds of professional boxing.
Okay, boxer. Boxer. 4 rounds tayo, ha? 4 rounds. Okay? Bawal lang sumuntok sa likod, bawal lang low blow. Laging sumunod sa mga utos ko, okay? Maliwanag ba ako? Sige, magkamay kayo at good luck. Thank you, bro.
Okay mga kaibigan, mag-uumpisa na po ang laban natin, 4 rounders. This is in the 145-pound limit. And mga kaibigan, napansin po natin yung suot-suot ni Michael Agustin kanina. Floor length. Yung kanyang coat, parang nasa winter time tayo. Pero, alam mo, may style ito si Michael Agustin. Pati yung buhok niya, bleach blonde. At ang kalaban niya, may style din sa kanyang buhok, si Sherwin Lombres. Iba din klaseng hairstyle na pinapakita. So, magandang laban ito mga kaibigan because this is a battle of big boys. They are in the light welterweight division, bridging the welterweight division. Michael Agustin is the kid wearing the white trunks, the bleach blonde hair. At si Sherwin Lombres, he is undefeated. 1-0 with 1 knockout. Last April, he scored a second-round knockout over Eric Tolosa. Yan po si Lombres, guy in the blue trunks. At si Agustin naman, wala pa din siya putalo. Pero iisang laban niya in his professional career. That was a majority draw with Dan Duckless. That was last January. So both these fighters have yet to taste a defeat in their careers. But watch the power of Lombres. He did score that big knockout over Eric Tolosa last April. Let's see whether he can follow that up with another abbreviated win dito against Michael Agustin. Agustin po is from Surigao del Sur, now fights out of Kalumpit, Bulacan. At si Lombres naman from Parañaque City, fighting out of the Baruch Gym in Taguig. Nice hand, nice right hand scored there by Lombres from long range. Both fighters are right-handers. Tinawanan siya ni Agustin kanina when he scored with that right hand. Pero walang follow-up. Agustin looking like he wants to counter. Hinihintay niya si Lombres to come in and make a mistake. He wants to take the opportunity of throwing a counter. There he goes. He threw a right uppercut that missed. Lombres has to be wary because of Agustin's countering style. There he is, he's coming through, then taking a step back. just before Lombres unloaded. Left jab ni Lombres. That's been steady. But he's got to show a little bit more. That time, a right hand. Oh, nice right hand. Scored there by Lombres as he came in. But again, no follow-up. Striking and then backing off just before Agustin can counter. That time, a left hand scored there by Lombres. End of the round coming up. It's been a good round here for Sherwin Lombres, who, by the way, has Arlan Lerio in his corner. Lerio was an Olympian for the Philippines in 2000 in Sydney, and he had a brief professional career where he fought 10 fights. One of those fights was against Guillermo Rigondao, the Cuban legend, a multiple world champion. That's Arlan Lerio, who is now in the corner of Sherwin Lombres. And in the corner naman ni Michael Agustin is Jovil Marayan. Here's the punch of the round, brought to you by San Miguel Beer. Hindi naabutan ni Lombres yung unang suntok niya, but he got through with the second. But he pulled away after connecting. That's the right hand that also scored for Lombres at tinawanan siya ni Michael Agustin. That was very early in round number 1 when Lombres connected with the right hand. But again, walang follow-up. No, it's just one punch at a time for Sherwin Lombres. And for Agustin, he's looking to counter. He's got to show a little bit more ammunition here against Lombres. Agustin with a slight reach advantage, that time scoring with the left hand. He's got to let his hands go. Walang masyadong activity. Si Agustin in round number 1. He's got to be busier. Again, we're only scheduled for 4, so you've got to give it all you've got in every round. This is not a long fight. Connecting that time was Agustin, just as Lombres was coming in. And Agustin looks like he's finely chiseled. Look at those biceps. Lombres moving around to look for an angle. He's got to put his punches together, however. He's been able to score with that right hand in the first round. But maybe a combination, that should be enough to stop Agustin in his tracks. And to keep Agustin guessing as to where the punches are coming from. Lombres versus Agustin. Agustin missing with the right hand. Hindi sila masyadong nakakatamaan. Right hand scored by Agustin that time. But here's Lombres fighting back. No direct hits so far. No meaningful impact. Agustin striking with that right hand and then positioning himself for that left jab. A little bit of a lull here as both these fighters are waiting for the other to initiate so that they can counter. But here's Lombres now taking the initiative. He's got to push. That time right hand by Agustin, but he missed. Still doesn't have his distance. Both fighters fighting very cautiously. Neither fighter willing to engage at close range. Again, naghihintayan sila. Agustin back against the ropes. Tumama doon yung kaliwa ni Lombres. And then right hand coming from Lombres. A counter right coming from Agustin. End of round number 2. Michael Agustin getting some instructions from his cornerman. It's been a close fight so far. Difficult to say kung sinong nanalo ng round number 2. Both fighters had their licks, but not enough action from either side to be able to sway the tide convincingly. Yan po si Arlan Lerio. Again, he represented the Philippines in the 2000 Sydney Olympics. That punch connected the left hand from Lombres. And then another left hand coming from Lombres. Might have done enough for Lombres to get that round. Round number 3 coming up.
Okay, round 3.
And in spite of the fact that both these fighters weighed in over 140 pounds each, wala pang masyadong power yung mga suntok nila. We're waiting for that. We're waiting for some impact. Lombres moving away. Agustin throwing, not connecting. Good job defending the part of Lombres. Hindi sila nagkakatamaan dito. Lombres stepping away, moving away. Agustin trying combination. That's not connecting. And then a little bit of a body sway from Agustin. A lot of posing in this fight. Now Lombres connecting with that left hand, but just a grazing blow. Agustin stalking his prey, and then biglang inunahan siya ni Lombres. Lombres is beating him to the punch, that's for sure. And Agustin has to show a little bit more speed in his delivery. Ang bagal ng delivery ni Agustin with both the left and the right. So he's being outpunched at the moment by Lombres. He's also being outworked. Agustin tried that overhand right. Then he comes in, again missing with a combination. Lombres just ducking away from harm's way. And then walking away from Agustin. There's Lombres again on the attack. Agustin just not quick enough to throw a counter with any kind of authority. Hirap siya dito, no? Less than a minute to go in this round. We are in round number 3. Di matamaan ni Agustin na solid. Si Lombres, magalaw. And, you know, he turns his back away from Agustin. He's killing some time by doing that. And then he lunges at Agustin. Agustin trying a, ano yun? Behind the back punch.
Warning,
Hindi natin nakikita yun. Bawal yun, bawal. At napansin tuloy ni referee Elmo Coloma. Might be a sign of frustration on the part of Agustin kasi hindi niya matamaan na solid si Lombres eh. Oh, again, missing with that left hand. Oh, Lombres connecting that time with a nice 1-2 combination capped by the left hand.
10 seconds.
A solid round here for Lombres. And Agustin just not accurate in throwing his punches. And, you know, he may have the better physique in terms of chiseled muscles. Pero kulang sa marksmanship. And also yung delivery niya. Medyo mabagal ang kanyang combination ng 1-2. Hindi niya matamaan na solid. And Lombres is also beating into the punch. So we've got round number 4 coming up. A lot of work for Michael Agustin to do in round number 4 as Lombres. You see him on your screens in the corner, and now at the punch of the round, that was the left hand. Yung sinasabi natin na ano, oh, ito, nagpo-posing pa si Agustin. Eh, siya ang tinamaan dun. That was a solid left jab. Eh, dapat less posing. Eh, more punching. Eh, yung mga kaibigan natin dito sa barangay, Mauway, kumusta kayong lahat? And we hope you're enjoying the action dito sa Manny Pacquiao presents Blow by Blow in partnership with San Miguel Beer. Ba, round number 4 na to. Agustin, we think he's behind on points. And what about that triple left jab galing kay Lombres? Di lang yata triple yun. I think quadruple left jab galing sa kanya, which means kulang na kulang sa depensa si Agustin and also yung counter.
Back.
A wild swing there by Agustin. And he tries to stalk his prey. He's coming closer, but just not able to get the shots off on time. Magalaw din ito si Lombres eh. And again, inuunahan niya, no? Just before Agustin can uncork his shots, he's already throwing the left hand, and then he gets a warning here for a rabbit punch. And you don't do that. That's the second infraction by Michael Agustin. Again, yung signs of frustration dito. Oh, nakatama doon si Agustin. And look at the foot movement ni Lombres as he moves away. May lakas na dito si Agustin. And I think Lombres knows that.
Okay.
And that's why Lombres is not just standing around to get hit. He moves away. He initiates the exchanges, moves away as soon as he sees that Agustin is loading up on a counter. Overhand right coming from Lombres. Lumapit si Agustin. You know, Agustin has a reach advantage, but he's really not using it. Wala siyang jab na pinapakita rito. Parang ang balak niya is to counter with the right hand. Eh, magalaw itong kalaban niya. And again, circling the ring, taking seconds off the clock. And inuunahan ni Lombres si Agustin. And that time, a combination of punches, a series of blows, and hindi matamaan ni Agustin. You saw that he threw 3 punches, all of them missed. And it's really because of his delivery. Walang masyadong speed ang delivery ni Agustin. Kanya naiiwasan ni Lombres. You know, I would be surprised if the judges even give 1 round here to Michael Agustin. And remember, in his first fight, he was held to a majority draw, and he continues to miss. Magaling din dumapensa si Lombres. And I'm sure he learned that from his cornerman and coach, Arlan Lerio. Again, look at him just moving away, and he's waiting for the final bell, and that's it. That's the end of the fight, the end of the round. Pero kulang sa speed and delivery. Walang masyadong footwork, and just couldn't get his punches together. Kulang sa strategy. Si Michael Agustin has got to do a lot more work in the gym in terms of tactics. If he wants to get his boxing career on the go. He's 27 years old. Lombres is 25 years old. And we're going to hear the announcement from Bobby Mondehar momentarily as to how the judges saw this fight. And now, Bobby Mondehar with the official verdict.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecard. And here are the scores of the 3 judges. 3 judges scored it 39-37. Winner by unanimous decision, Sherwin Lombres.
And we called it Sherwin Lombres, winner by unanimous decision. Although all 3 judges gave 1 round to Michael Agustin. That was a little generous of them. Pero, well, very clear victor. Si Lombres, he did more than enough to deserve that victory. And with Arlan Lerio, the Olympian, in his corner, certainly doing the right things, both offensively and defensively, getting the jump at his opponent, initiating the exchanges, not allowing Michael Agustin to get the jump on him. Magandang panalo yan ni Sherwin Lombres. He now goes up to 2-0 in his professional career. Ito po ang mga highlights ng nakarang laban, and we saw Michael Agustin coming in with that, wow, beautiful coat. Parang winter time. Tapos naman, wala, puro posing ang nangyari dito. Michael Agustin with a nice physique, nice body build, but it was Lombres' business from the start, connecting with some nice shots. Michael Agustin didn't show any jab whatsoever, looking to counter with the right hand, and then, again, that posing. by Michael Agustin. That's not going to win any points for him. And then, what about that behind the back shot that drew a warning from referee Elmo Coloma galing kay Agustin? Agustin trying to show some aggressiveness in round number 4. Ayun, ang saya-saya ni Lombres after he was declared winner by unanimous decision. Yes! 4 rounds of boxing, tapos na po. That's in the books. Sherwin Lombres, the winner by unanimous decision over Michael Agustin. Magpapatuloy po ang blow by blow.